chemical that's called fucking. And if you can just get that in your system, it can change your life.
Hey, if you're a grown-ass man and you don't pay no bills, you a bitch. You need to grow the fuck up. Too damn old to not have a fucking job and not do shit and sit at the house all day. Stop being a bitch. Grow the fuck up. Okay? If you're over 25, you're a fucking loser. And also grow the fuck up. Don't let me ever catch you raising your fucking voice if you don't pay no fucking bills and you're fucking capable, okay? Don't let me ever catch you raising your motherfucking voice, okay? Alright. Hello world, it's me again. It's the Don, the Senator of Smooth and Rule, coming to you live from the 75Y, cause we global, baby, yeah. This the Mansion in the Sky podcast where we build a lamb while we drive it. That's why we strive to become envious, which is unconquerable and influential in every single area of our lives. Our focus here at the Mansion is to learn lessons from current events, either global and or local, and apply it, while also staying in the mix about technology and health and the code. Calculated and ever so changing world. So, envious ones, welcome to the home of the anti-hero. This the Mansion in the Sky podcast. Y'all know what it is. But if you're grown and you don't pay no bills and you're not disabled and like your job or school asks for, if you don't have a doctor's note or a legit reason, you're a bitch. You need to grow the fuck up. If you don't have dementia or something like that, you need to grow the fuck up. Okay? Nobody feel sorry for you, okay? Okay. Alright, today, we got a show for you guys today. We have a show for you guys today. I am thoroughly excited for this one, okay? Alright, so, of course, we start the show off with the isms. Then I have a question after the isms. After my question, then we're going to roll into the word of the day. Y'all know how we do with that. Then after the word of the day, then we're going to roll into, we have 3 topics today, okay? So, first topic, it's going to be about Southern University cheerleader who dies at 19 years old after alarming social media post, school says. And then we're going to go down the rabbit hole. We're going to lower the rope into the hole as far as social media and its links to suicide, because there are some. Then after that, then we're going to dive into a new Taliban decree orders Afghanistan's women to veil their faces in public, and if they don't comply, male relatives face punishment. Then we're gonna touch on the CDC put out. Well, did they put it out? Well, their name is all sprinkled in this article, but 5 children die and 100 others sickened after mysterious hepatitis outbreak in the U.S. And then last but certainly not least, of course, we're always going to go to technology or health or science. Google fires another AI researcher who reportedly challenged findings. And I'm just going to tell you right now, so I don't forget, that sometimes if you want to keep your job, or if you have vision, sometimes it's just better to keep your mouth shut.
Well, I respect your ambition, Willie, but you got to have vision.
You understand me? Let me play it again.
Well, I respect your ambition, Willie, but you got to have vision.
Sometimes you gotta have vision. And telling on your employer might not be might not be the best decision. You might need that money. So my thing is, hey, sometimes I think in the last episode I said, mind your business, mind your own, or hear none, see none, or see none, hear none, or say none, hear something like that. Everything that you see, you don't need to tell. Just that simple. You don't need to tell everything that you see or that you hear. But yeah, Google files another AI researcher who reportedly challenged findings. And this is just an update. All right, let's go into it. So the isms. Today's isms. Have the courage to be disliked. Man, look. Fuck them people, man. Have you ever been employed somewhere where it seemed as if the people that you work with actually liked you and wanted to hang out with you, and they gave off the appearance that you were actually cool? But when it really came down to it, if something happened to you, they wouldn't have called. They wouldn't even cared. You just would have been another body, another person. Dead, gone, here today, gone tomorrow. Have you experienced that? Because I have. I worked a lot of jobs, been cool with a lot of people. But one thing I do know is the ones who matter, they don't mind. But the ones who do mind, they don't matter. They don't matter. The ones who matter, they're gonna call you. Just like King Q had called me. He video chatted me the other day. But I was recording. I was filming a show. So I couldn't answer the call because I was literally filming. Other people they randomly call me because they know how I am. Me, I'm a caveman. Okay? I have my cave. If you want to take it back to prehistoric, tribal times, basic instincts, grunts, clubs over shoulders, saber-toothed tigers. I'm a caveman. I'm a clean, handsome, chocolate, smooth. Might take your bitch, caveman, but nonetheless, I'm a caveman. And the way that I've set my life up and the way that I see it going, this right here, this is my kid. My work, that's my children. I don't plan on having kids. I don't want kids. As of right now, I do not want kids. As of right now, I do not want to get married. As of right now, I really don't want another girlfriend. I'm good. I love women. I love the company of women. But I don't want that. I don't need it. So I might end up being found like Kevin Samuels. Matter of fact, that's probably how I'm gonna be found. But I might already be decomposing in my apartment at that point. By the time y'all find me, and I'm perfectly cool with that. Some people choose to live the way that they want to choose. But with all of that being said, bringing it back to the point, The ones who matter won't matter. And the ones who don't matter. So have the courage to be disliked. The most perceived liked people in recorded history weren't even the most memorable people. Like Malcolm X. I think how I just said that didn't really do that statement justice, but Malcolm X was loved and hated. He didn't care. Especially after he came back from his Hajj from overseas in the Eastern Hemisphere and came back over here. That man didn't care. He didn't care not one bit. And I don't blame him. Have the courage to be disliked. Because the ones who matter won't mind. But the ones who don't matter I butchered that. I tortured that saying. The ones who matter won't mind, and the ones who don't matter, they don't matter. Or the ones who hold on, I got it. All right, so the ones who matter won't mind. The ones who do mind don't matter. That's why have the courage to be disliked. Because it doesn't matter. As long as you have oxygen in your body. 12 days no cigarettes. 12 days no cigarettes. Then you can continue on your path to whatever it is that you see yourself having, achieving, gaining. So, with that being said, as you guys know, this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's been observed in May for the last 60, 70, 80 years in this country. So I have a challenge for everybody who's watching this show, the envious ones. I have a challenge for you guys. The challenge is I want you to contribute to someone's mental illness. You say, Don, what you mean? What you mean, Don? What you mean? Or how some people know me. What you mean, Dre? Huh? Dre, what you mean? That's what I mean. I want you to contribute to someone's mental health. I want you to contribute to someone's mental illness by starting this month, starting right now, going out and going harder than you've ever gone in your life. By being more consistent than you've ever been in your life. By working out, going to the gym, running, getting up every single morning, running. Focusing on your diet. Doing that 8 more than 92. Going harder than you've ever gone in your life. Doing whatever it is that you already do great and up in the ante 10 levels. And making all your well-known haters catch even more feelings. Make your well-known haters suicidal. And make your unknown haters, make them fall out the bushes. Make them identify themselves. This month, I want you to contribute to somebody's mental illness by going harder than you've ever gone in your life. By looking better than you've ever looked. by eating better than you ever eaten, by upping the ante 10 levels and you higher than you've ever been. The goal is to make the haters and the non-believers commit suicide because they can't believe. They couldn't imagine. They couldn't fathom. That's my challenge for the envious ones this month. Contribute to somebody's mental illness by going harder than you've ever gone, becoming sexier than you've ever become, eating better than you've ever eaten, becoming smarter than you've ever become, becoming smoother, more suave, more witty, more skillful, slinging dick better than you've ever slung dick before. If you're a woman, sucking dick better than you've ever sucked it before. That's what I want you to do this month. Starting now. Contribute to somebody's mental illness by going harder than you've ever gone. And make the haters say, not him, but yes, you. And that's my isms for today. Okay? That's the ism. Contribute to somebody's mental illness and awareness of mental health. And have the courage to be disliked. Cause a fuck nigga, that's that shit I don't like. Don't like. Don't like. Nah, da. What do you say? Sneak dissing, that shit I don't like. Don't like. Don't like. Fuck now, that shit I don't like. Don't like. Don't like. Oh yeah, so don't have my coffee, but I do have my purified water, no vape, 12 days of no smoke, tobacco, hookah, none of that. But you can tell a hater go smoke a bag of dicks though. Moving right along. 2. The word of the day. What is it? Talk to me.
Sagacious.
Sagacious. It's an adjective. Means having or showing an ability to understand difficult ideas and situations and to make good decisions. Sagacious. It implies being wise or discerning. The student reviews paint the writing professor as a sagacious mentor and a compassionate teacher. Sagacious, in context. If depression crept in, she would phone her sagacious dad for advice.
Sagacious.
Sagacious. Did you know? You might expect the root of sagacious to be sage, which is an adjective which means wise, or as a noun, a wise person. Despite, similarities or spelling, sound, and sense, the two words are not closely related. Sagacious comes from sagar, a Latin verb meaning to perceive keenly. Autologous, I butchered that. I'm going to be butchering a whole lot of words today, so let me go ahead and let y'all know how I'm giving it up. All 2020s. This whole decade. That's the shit I'm on. That's exactly what I'm on. I'm tap dancing. I don't care. Y'all ain't like me anyway, so I'm gonna keep on tapping. Just don't like me when the money come around. Okay? Alright. They believe that sage comes from a different Latin word meaning verb sapere, which means to taste, to have good taste, or to be wise. So word of the day.
Sagacious.
What is it?
Sagacious.
Say it one more time.
Sagacious.
Sagacious. An adjective. Alright, moving into the first topic of today. We are going to lower the rope down into the hole on this one and get down and dirty with it, because this is something that we do need to talk about, because it's a very serious issue, very serious topic that's been going on. And if you've been listening to the show long enough, then my purpose here is to bring you along in a time where technology is at the front and foremost of everything, and just give you a basic 101 understanding on what the hell is going on in this world. Okay? That's what it is. Every time you listen to me, you are participating in a master class. Do you understand? So, I'll preference everything I'm getting ready to say by saying that this first topic is gonna be surrounded by, or come to a conclusion of, how social media, the effects of social media on your mental. And I don't care, but I don't care in the sense of if this is something that I've already covered, because I'm going to continue to cover the effects of social media on the human brain, which is the greatest creation given to this planet. The human brain, the human organism, the human brain, yeah. The greatest machine ever built. The greatest piece of artificial intelligence ever to have graced this planet, in my opinion. New studies are always coming out, and everybody who is involved with this show, I want you guys to have an idea of where to keep your focuses as far as technology and everyday life things are going on. I can't really teach you that much about money, but I know people who can teach you about money. I can't teach you about how to flip houses, but I know people who can help you flip houses. But what I can do is keep you on point as far as where trends are going. That's what I can do. So that's what I'm here for. And eventually I will have reoccurring guests that have an expertise in different things. And that way we can really make this a one-stop shop here at the mansion. So let's get into it. Southern University cheerleader dies at 19 after alarming social media post, school says. This is coming. I've actually read an article from this lady before. This is coming to us through news.yahoo.com. Miss Marlene Lathan. Let's go. This came out, matter of fact, yesterday morning. A freshman cheerleader at Southern University and A&M College in Louisiana died this week after posting an alarming message on social media, school authorities said. I'm sorry, but that... Oh, shoot. Before I go into this, let me ask my question. Matter of fact, I'll do this at the end. I'll do my question at the end. All right. Let's see. Arlana Miller, 19, was a freshman from Texas and a member of the school's cheerleading team. Yeah, she was cute too. She was a cutie for sure. Let's see. Bet. Our entire campus community is deeply saddened by the untimely death of Arlana Miller, a freshman who's majoring in agriculture on the Baton Rouge campus. Southern University's president, Chancellor Ray L. Belton, said in a statement Thursday. The school did not disclose how she died. The university's athletic department said she died after posting on social media. On May 4th, 2022, at approximately 9 p.m., Southern University Athletic Department was notified of a social media post which ultimately led to this unfortunate announcement. She allegedly shared a final Instagram post talking about death and her history with suicidal thoughts. Though it was removed from her page, screenshots of the post were circulated on social media. It referenced her struggles over the past year with school, COVID-19, and tearing her ACL. The school's athletic department noted her death occurred during Mental Health Awareness Month, a time to raise awareness of mental or behavioral health issues and to help reduce the stigma so many experience. Both the university and athletic department said counseling is available for all students and student athletes. We ask for your prayers, love, and support. Our deepest sympathy to the Miller family. As you cheer and friends, we love you, Arlana. Hashtag Forever Jag. Athletic Director Roman Banks in the school's athletic department said in the statement. University police referred comment to Southern University officials who did not immediately reply to NBC News request for comment. Miller's death comes amid a rash of student-athlete suicides that have cast a spotlight on pressures students face academically, mentally, and physically. Since the beginning of March, 3 high-profile student-athlete cases have died by suicide across the United States. Katie Mayer, a star goalkeeper at Stanford soccer team. Sarah Schultz, a top runner for the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And Lauren Burnett, a standout soft player for JMU. That's NVA. Student athletes often can feel like there is too much on their plate and put a pressure on themselves to perform at the highest level, according to experts. The family of Schultz, 21, said in a statement on April 15th, balancing athletics, academics, and the demands of everyday life overwhelmed her in a single desperate moment. So, here's the suicide prevention lifeline right here. Text home to 741-7401 or visit speakingofsuicide.com/resources. Now, before I go and do a little deep dive or touch on what's going on here, one of my brothers had called me in December. He's talking about he's getting ready to jump in the lake. He knows who he is. I'm not gonna say where he's from or his name or none of that. But all I'm gonna say is tequila is a hell of an alcohol, one. But two, a lot of suicide, people who get to the point where suicide becomes something of an answer, it's prompted by a life of trauma, a childhood of trauma. There's a timeline of sometimes abuse, but oftentimes childhood trauma. Whether it be from the parents, whether it be from the environments that these people are growing up in. Now these are this suburbia right here. But I'm talking along the lines of my friend, my brother. I'm definitely not an expert on suicide, but what I do know is, I did say it was selfish. I had really had no idea as to what the hell to say at the time. But I do know that I stayed on the phone for 3, almost 4 some hours, and I had to work the next day, like in the next coming hours. But doing my best to keep that person alive was more important than my sleep. So I do say, even for your friends who are cavemen like myself, uh, check up on them. And I'm only a caveman because I feel like being a caveman. I like being a caveman. I'm okay with being a caveman. I'm proud to be a caveman. I'm proud because sometimes I get some saber-toothed tigers that want to come and chill. Sometimes I get some cave women that want to come chill too. Well, ultimately, I get to wander this world as a nomad. And I'm cool with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. I love it. Well, what about family? What about it? What about it? That's not what this show is about, but what about it? So, suicide. Talking about Lauren Burnett, Sarah Schultz, and Katie Mayer. They're all top performing student athletes. And she was definitely hot, man. I would have messed with all 3 of them. But she was hot. And that looks like Wisconsin right there. My goodness. Come on, man. So this is kind of going away from where I initially wanted to take the show. But I'm still going to go into it. Suicides put spotlight on how hard it can be for student athletes to ask for help. That pride thing, sometimes. It's a fear about being judged. It's a fear of being seen as weak when you're supposed to be seen as a competitive athlete, one tennis player said. This is coming to us through NBCnews.com, written by Elizabeth Chuck on the 28th of April of this year. As a teenager, Victoria Emma was one of the top junior tennis players in the country. Colleges were recruiting her. She got to travel the world for matches. Hold up. Are these all the same? Let's see. Before I start reading, is there a video on her? No, it's not. Alright, so the other girls will watch the videos. Is that one on her? Man, she was young. Nah, I'll just go through hers. Alright. She got to travel the world for matches. With her tennis career going so well, no one, including Emma's parents, had any clue that she had tried to end her life until they found suicide notes stashed away in her bedroom. They had no idea anything was going on. Emma, now 22 and playing professionally, said, "I don't blame them. I was very good at hiding it. There's plenty of times when I'm on the court and I have to do that." Like, she is hot. She is a smoke show. She switched into homeschool full-time in high school as she could focus on tennis. She started feeling disconnected from her friends and overwhelmed by the demands of her sport. It had taken over her identity. When tennis wasn't going well, I didn't have a way of handling that, Emma of Delray Beach, Florida, said. Even when it was going well, there were people where all they talked about with me was tennis. Gotta make some better friends, sweetie. Since the beginning of March, 3 high-profile college athletes have died by suicide across the United States on their fields of play. The 3 young women projected indestructibility. Katie Mayer as a star goalkeeper on Stanford soccer team. Sarah Schultz as a top runner for the University of Wisconsin, Madison, and Lauren Burnett as a standout side. Yeah, we already know that. But off the field, all 3 were secretly struggling. That's how it be, man. There was so much pressure, I think, on athletes, right? Especially at that high level, balancing academics in a high competitive environment. And there's anxiety and there's stress to be perfect, to be the best, to be number one. The family of 21-year-old Schultz said something similar in a statement on April 15th. Balancing athletics, academics, and the demands of everyday life overwhelmed her in a single desperate moment. Feeling like there is too much on their plates, experts say. It's not uncommon for student athletes who put an enormous amount of pressure on themselves to perform at the highest level, both in their sports and in their academics. I mean, man. So, these are white girls, right? But then, when you talk about black people, it was, because I've been a lifelong Oakland Raiders fan for the most part. Like, I've been a Raiders fan since 2002. 2001, when they went to the Super Bowl. And I said, all right, that's my team right here. And my uncle's a Raiders fan too, but I didn't start liking them because of him. It just so happened that I started liking them, and then I found out he was a Raiders fan. But it was one player named Philip Buchanan, who was a cornerback, and he was a return specialist. And the story about him was, as soon as he got into the league and got his first check, his mama basically tried to extort him and say, hey, you owe me $1 million for raising you. And he's just like, what? So he paid, of course. Yeah, he bought his mama a house and everything like that. But after he retired, the money was funny. And he told his story. And so many other athletes on the black side of things told that story too. That there was always a pressure and a sense of, when I make it, now I got to pay for everybody. I got to be the one. And sometimes you do have to be the one, but it ain't fair. It's not fair. And You know, my uncles told me about that. They told me about that. And they said, you know, when it happens, just do this.
You always do that to me, George.
They said tap. Ah, come on, man. Y'all give me a second. Computer's acting slow. Y'all see I got a new look. I'm gonna be adding more and more as we go along. You guys are always welcome to donate. Give me a second. And I'm eating saltwater taffy right now, just in case you were wondering. I've been loving saltwater taffy ever since I was a kid. It's like the candies that I really eat, I was loving when I was a kid, like orange slices, gummy worms, like Sour Patch. The only candy that I really eat now that I didn't eat when I was a kid, for real, was Kit Kat bars. I don't know where that came from. That was random. Like, I'm in school right now, so I'll eat that. If I don't eat anything, I will eat a Kit Kat bar. I don't know what it is. It just do it for me. I couldn't tell you. All right. I got a canker sore right here. I think it's from not smoking. I don't know. It just came out of nowhere. Shit. All right, we're not gonna go too deep in that. So yeah. All right, the parents of Katie Mayer. She's a star at Stanford soccer. She was found unresponsive at her campus resident this week. She died by suicide. They said she had no indication that she was struggling with her mental health. So it was just this week, so no autopsies or anything had happened like that. You know, it was just a regular story. She had a lot going on. She was happy. She was in great spirits. And then her parents had even spoken to her hours prior to her committing the suicide. So, I mean, you honestly can never tell. I mean, look, I'm telling you one thing about me. If I ever pass, it's not going to be because of suicide. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not going to kill myself. Of course, I've had moments where I've been depressed and anxious, but nigga, I'm human. Okay? I'm going to feel some type of way when I'm going through some shit. But I'm not finna load up a goddamn cocktail or some pills and go for it. I ain't got the balls to do it. I don't have the balls to put myself down. I'd have made it. If I was gonna do it already, I would have already did it. Let's just say that. So now that I'm here, I'm I'm a third of the way through my life, or what? I'm almost at halftime in my life. Man, I'm not about to stop this shit. I'm just getting started. Shit, I'm a late bloomer. You know what I mean? I scored maybe 3 points, 5 points in the first quarter. Shit. This quarter, shit, I already done scored 5. And we halfway through the second. In regards to the timeline of where I am in my life right now, shit, the game just getting cooking. We ain't even at halftime yet. Second quarter just beginning. Okay? If y'all been watching the NBA playoffs, Chris Paul, like 37 years old, 37, 38. And we didn't really know Chris Paul was a fourth quarter player. But Chris Paul might be the clutchest point guard to ever touch a basketball and lace him up. One game in the series that he's playing now, in the fourth quarter, this man made 14 of 14 shots. That's crazy. In the NBA, that's crazy. That's almost unheard of. I want to say either the fourth quarter or the whole entire game. I think it was the whole game. I think he scored 30 points on 14 of 14 shots. So if you do the math, I think he shot 3 free throws. Either way, that's insane. You don't know how the last quarter of your life finna turn out. The hell I look like committing suicide. Look, whatever it is that I got going on, just know that we're rare because we are the sperm that made it out of millions. You know where you could have ended up? You could have ended up on a sock. You could have ended up on a wet wipe. You could have ended up on someone's hardwood floor. You could have ended up on somebody's chest, somebody's face, somebody's backside. You could have ended up inside of somebody, but just your journey got cut off short because you didn't make the cut. You could have ended up in somebody's hair. You could have ended up on a wall. Somebody's hand. Somebody's back seat. The driver's seat. The dashboard. Outside at the beach. In the sand. Next to some seaweed. A beach towel. 2 girls, 1 cup. No, I'm just playing. Man, look, you could have ended up anywhere. But you made it here. Okay? And now that you done made it, and you're not even done with the second quarter of your life. They didn't even get out the first quarter of their life. Okay? Which is, alright, so let's say everybody lives to 100. They didn't even make it out the first quarter of their life. But let's make it more realistic. Let's say everybody lives to 80. Then they barely made it out the first quarter. Like, this is commercial break. They didn't even make it out the commercial break going into the second quarter of that ESPN Fox Sports game. Come on, man. Nah, I get it. A lot of things on your plate. A lot of issues, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. Anxiety is the way that I remember anxiety and depression. Anxiety is living in the future. Depression is living in the past. So a lot of anxiety for these people. Oh, I have to do everything at a certain time every single day, and if I miss something, then my performance in this game is not going to go well. And if my performance in this game does not go well, well, I'm the first one to make it to college, and if I don't go to the league, then it's a possibility that we're going to be poor for the rest of our lives. So I have to be the one to break this generational curse. That would be an example of how anxiety could be created. Depression. One thing that led to somewhat of my depression is when I was an announcer for the marching band. And I've always had some form of depression. How you combat this stuff is you really do got to stay busy, for real. You really do have to stay busy. But always think about, man, I was turned. So many people felt, I really did a good. That's how depression is formulated. As in a weapon formed against you that prospered, except you formulated the own weapon that prospered against yourself. Yeah, we create a lot of our own depressions and our own anxieties. Sometimes you gotta cut back on things when it comes to that anxiety. But I get it. When it comes to this complex, artificial, intelligent instrument, aka the human brain, is not one service manual or operator's manual, or in the mechanics world, aviation mechanics world, the AC-43. To go with this, you know, they all operate just a little differently than the other one. So, with that being said, I want to go into just a little deeper. All right, so the digital age of vulnerability. The earlier teens start using social media, the greater impact the platforms have on mental health. All right, so if you haven't already read the book, How to Outwit the Devil. How to Outwit the Devil. The book is based around an interview that a gentleman did with the devil, and the devil gives out his tips on how he controls and manipulates and has it up with the world. And one of his major keys is he gets on while they're young. So there you go. There you have it, right there. The earlier teens start using social media, the greater impact the platforms have on mental health. This is especially true for females. While teen males tend to express aggression physically, females do so relationally by excluding others and sharing hurtful comments. Social media increases the opportunity for such harmful interactions. Yeah, them sandy hoes. Moist niggas, sandy hoes. Equals the moist nation. Or the pooper scooper. I don't know. I'm gonna come up with a better term for these people, but right now, that's gonna be the moist nation. These sandy ass hoes. Cause they dried up. And these moist ass niggas. Cause they pussy. So, sandy hoes, The pussy's so dried up. It's like sandpaper. Don't nobody want to fuck that. Don't nobody want to finger that. Ain't enough cocoa butter or what's the shit white bitch was using? Coconut butter? Not coconut butter. I forget what the hell the shit was she was using. Ain't enough of that shit. Ain't enough baby oil. Ain't enough KY to moisturize that sandy, salty vagina over there that you got going on. Get that shit the fuck out of here. And then these moist ass niggas, these pee sitting down motherfuckers, man, y'all niggas fucking shit up for everybody, man. Y'all fucking shit up for everybody. So let's go. Sperling offers the example of 7th grader who best friend chooses new best friend to post pictures of the pair at the movies on a weekend trip 20 years ago. The girl may have been excluded from her best friend's activities, but she may not have known about it unless she was told explicitly. Yeah. So suicide is a big issue amongst teenagers, especially people who have a lot of things going on. So please check in on your strong friends, because just like one of the girls, her parents, they had just talked to her a couple hours prior to, and that she was gone. All right, statistics. Social media has come under a lot of criticism and scrutiny, with many reports connecting it to its use with severe consequences. National surveys and population-based studies show that the world of social media can have devastating effects on users' mental health. In the U.S. alone, survey findings show a 25% increase in suicide attempts among teenagers between 2009 and 2017. Although social media may not play a role in each of these incidences, the time frame correlates with the growing use of these platforms. A 2021 study confirms this effect. The researchers reported that while social media has had a minimal impact on boys' risk of suicide, girls who used social media for at least 2 hours each day from the age of 13 years had a higher clinical risk of suicide as adults. Furthermore, findings from a population-based study show a decline in mental health in the U.S. with a 37% increase in the likelihood of major depressive episodes among adolescents. A 2019 study suggested that teenagers who use social media for more than 3 hours daily are more likely to experience mental health problems such as depression, anxiety, aggression, and antisocial behavior. Negative effects on health. Social media may trigger feelings of inadequacy. People may feel as though their life or appearance does not compare favorably with that of others on social media, leading to feelings of envy and dissatisfaction. A 2018 study found that high social media usage increases rather than decreases feelings of loneliness. It also reported that reducing social media use helps people feel less lonely and isolated and improves their well-being. Additionally, social media can facilitate cyberbullying and create unhealthy self-centeredness and distance from friends and family. Positive effects. Despite its drawbacks, social media remains an efficient means of connecting communities and individuals across the world. Social media-based networking among small groups of people is beneficial for many, though social media youngsters who struggle with social skills and anxiety can express themselves in social lives. It can be particularly adventurous for marginalized groups such as Alphabet Soup, and it enables people to meet and interact with other like-minded individuals. Social media also serves as a platform that gives a voice to the voiceless. For example, people who have been subject to violence and abuse can use communities such as Me Too communities to air their views. Yeah, they say, I'm not going into that. Not tonight. I'm not doing that. I don't even want to utter that hashtag. Next. Oh yeah. Social media is not the only cause for, excuse me, for suicide and depression and anxiety, but its damn show is a bigger cog in the wheel of people wanting to cause harm to themselves. A new Taliban decree orders Afghanistan's women to veil their faces in public. And if they don't comply, male relatives face punishment. The Taliban ruled that Afghan women will have to cover their faces in public. If women do not comply, their closest male relative could face imprisonment or be fired from government jobs. I actually wish there was a video that was associated with this. The Taliban have introduced several draconian laws imposing restrictions on women's freedom. The Islamic regime of the Taliban has ruled that Afghan women will have to cover their faces in public or in a decree passed Saturday. According to the decree from Taliban Supreme Leader HA, we're going to say, that the ideal face covering is the all-encompassing burqa. If a woman does not comply with the new rule, her father or closest male relative will be visited and eventually imprisoned or fired from government jobs. A spokesman for the Ministry of the Propagation of Virtue and the Prevention of Vice said in a press conference per Reuters. Most women in Afghanistan already choose to wear a headscarf, but often do not cover their faces in urban areas like Kabul, which is Afghanistan's capital. Since taking control of Afghanistan in August of last year, the Taliban have introduced draconian laws imposing restrictions on women's freedom. In March, so basically, I'm just going to say this right now. The Taliban want control over their country. That's why they're controlling the women first. They're getting a hold over the women because you can tell the countries that are completely out of control by the way the women act. Yeah. I'm just saying. In March, the theocratic closed girls' high schools and recently introduced rules limiting women's ability to travel without a male chaperone. The strict new derivatives are reminiscent of their Muslim fundamentalist headline rule in the 90s, in spite of their claims to have reformed and become more moderate. UN human rights experts warned in January that Taliban leaders are institutionalizing a large-scale and systematic gender-based discrimination and violence against women and girls. The experts criticized what they described as the Taliban's attempt to steadily erase women and girls from public life. In response to the takeover of Afghanistan, the U.S. and other countries have cut development aid. frozen the Afghan government's reserves held in U.S. bank accounts, and imposed strict sanctions on the group. Interesting. Interesting times we living in. All right, moving on. Let's listen in. That's not what I was expecting. All right. U.S. health officials. All right, that's it. Are investigating an unexplained hepatitis outbreak that has left 5 children dead and more than 100 with severe liver disease. A total of 109 cases have been identified in 25 states over the past 7 months, with 8 children requiring liver transplants, the CDC has said. Most of the children who fell ill were toddlers, and nearly all required hospital treatment. Dr. Jay Butler, the CDC's Deputy Director for Infectious Diseases, asked for doctors to be on the lookout for possible cases of liver disease in a conference call on Friday. It's important to note that this is an evolving situation, and we are casting a wide net to broaden our understanding, he said. Dr. Butler said approximately half of the children diagnosed with hepatitis had been infected with a type of adenovirus, a virus that causes a common cold. The agency is still investigating the exact cause of the illness, he said. Hepatitis linked to this type of adenovirus has mostly been associated with immunocompromised children. But many of the cases first reported that the CDC did not have immunocompromising conditions, Dr. Butler said. Hepatitis can be caused by toxins, viral infections, autoimmune diseases, and drugs. Hepatitis A, hepatitis B, and hepatitis C are the most common types in the U.S. The latest outbreak was first detected in Alabama in November, when state health officials began looking into the first of 9 cases of severe hepatitis in children in that state. None tested positive for the virus that commonly causes hepatitis. However, testing was positive for adenovirus. Dr. Butler said none of the Alabama children were vaccinated against C19. That has been ruled out as a possible cause, and we hope this information helps clarify some of the speculation circulating online. It's still a very rare occurrence, Dr. Butler said. A majority of these cases have recovered and recovered fully. Symptoms of hepatitis or inflammation of the liver include fever, fatigue, loss of appetite, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, dark urine, light colored stools, joint pain, and jaundice. In addition to Alabama, the states reporting suspected cases were California, Colorado, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, NC, North Dakota, Nebraska, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, Wisconsin, Puerto Rico. Also reported at least 1 case. The CDC did not reveal how many cases have been found in each state or any information about the victims due to confidentiality issues. Alabama state officials had previously reported 9 cases in the state, the largest known outbreak. The WHO said earlier this week there were almost 300 probable cases of children with severe hepatitis detected in 20 countries worldwide. In the UK, where 163 children have contracted the illness, health authorities are investigating a possible link to dog ownership. The UK Health Security Agency said this week that 64 of 92 cases they were examining had reported exposure to dogs. None of the UK cases have been fatal. Man, it's wild, man. It's wild. Don't even know what to tell you about that. Just things to know about, man. All right. Last but certainly not least, Google fires another AI researcher who reportedly challenged findings. All right. Now, like I said early on in the show, if you just so happen to find something, you can either be the martyr or not be the martyr. Sometimes it's best to just keep your mouth shut, keep your job, do what you gotta do, and get the hell up out of there. Can't save everybody. Sometimes it's not the best thing to be Buzz Lightyear, be Batman, be Superman, be Spider-Man. Sometimes it's just best to save your own ass and get the hell up out of there. But I get it. You know, me personally, I probably would have quit if I found something of this magnitude. I would have either quit or I would have kept working. And I just wouldn't have said anything. I damn sure wouldn't have came up here and said anything. Because I would have knew. I would have knew that this is something that can get me fired. I will, especially if it's a good job. And depending on what it was, I would just have to quit. Because they're going to keep on doing what they're doing. Hey, whether they get caught or whether they don't get caught, whatever the crime is that it is, sometimes it's not for you to tell. It's not for you to be that whistleblower. So, with that being said, let's go into this article brought to us by Engadget.com. It came in inception on the 2nd of this month. So let's go in. Google is still firing AI researchers amid criticism of its work. The New York Times has learned Google fired machine learning scientist SC, what you gonna say, in March. Soon after it refused to publish a paper, Chatterjee. No. Where the hell? Yeah. A paper Chatterjee and others wrote challenging earlier findings that computers could design some chip components more effectively than humans. The scientist was reportedly allowed to collaborate on a paper disputing those claims after he and a fellow author expressed reservations, but was dismissed after a resolution committee rejected the paper. And the researchers hope to bring the issue to CEO Sundar Pichai and Alphabet's board of directors. The company hasn't detailed why it fired Chatterjee, but told the Times he'd been terminated with cause. It also maintained that the original paper had been thoroughly vetted and peer-reviewed, and that the study challenging the claims did not meet our standards. Whether or not the science holds up, the exit underscores the ongoing clash between Google's management and the AI teams that drive many of its projects. The problems began in earnest when Google fired Ethic, Ethinich, I don't know how to say that, Timid Gerbrew in 2020, following a dispute over a paper, with two others following suit. The matter escalated when the internet giant terminated Margaret Mitchell in early 2021. While Google claimed Mitchell violated data policies, she also publicly criticized executives and the decision to fire Gerbrew. These firings led veteran engineers to leave the firm and demand reforms, and that's not including company-wide protests over military contracts. Google investigated Gerbrew's firing and promised changes, but the Chatterjee firing might not ease tensions. It's no secret that Google is proud of its AI research. It's keen to tout algorithms that can outperform humans in fields like chip design and cancer detection. And its flagship Pixel 6 phones are built around a custom AI-focused processor. Any flaws could significantly hinder Google's business, not to tarnish its reputation as a leader in AI development. So, some things aren't hard to see nor recognize. So we're going to go ahead and say Google.
You always do that to me, George.
That's what we're going to say. They do. That's what it sounds like. That's what it look like. For the love of money. It's always for the love of money. And reputation, and power, pride, to be the first. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Today's episode. Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me back this music out first. Let me back this out. Alright. My question. Are y'all ready for it? Alright, so my question. First of all, it's inspired by Wale. Not sure if it's just me, but I never want to talk on the phone, like ever. Night text me. Generic greetings irritate me so much, like, hey, what you doing? Nothing. That is a nightmare of an exchange. I'm tired. Just text me. I promise it'll improve the quality of our lives. He says he preferred to text, not talk on the phone. Me personally, I'd rather you call me. But what? I prefer you call over text. Unless we're super, super close. And even then, you'll text, I'll probably call. Like, you have to say, hey, just text at that moment. But I prefer video chat over everything. So my question is, what do you prefer? You prefer text, call, or video chat? Which one do you prefer? And you know what I prefer over all of that. Voice texting. So like they could be like, hey, I'd be like, hey, what's up? Like, and then they'd be like, no, nothing. I was like, oh shit, that's what's up. Yeah, you know, I'm not doing too much. I'm chilling. And he's like, oh, that's cool. What's up? I'm like, shit, what you doing? Or I get back, shit, what you doing? Like, hey, I ain't doing shit over here. You trying to come through? They be like, yeah, fuck it. I'm on the way. Like, I prefer that. So, I prefer voice text, video chat, calls, then text. And the text moves up with the person. So when the person is important, then yeah. Or I'm comfortable with you, then yeah. But if I don't really know you like that, because it's just like, one, it's too much thinking involved with that. Two, like people keep text messages for years and years and years to come. And it's easy to text the wrong thing during the text exchange, and then next thing you know, you caught up on some dumb shit. Cause you was trying to crack a joke and they ain't take it as a joke, and now they got the evidence. Like, you tried to crack a joke that wasn't funny. Ain't nothing more embarrassing than trying to crack a joke that's not funny and then get you caught up. So, that's my thing, man. You know? Alright. Let's finish the show out. Alright, today's isms. That occurs to me is like, the ones who matter don't matter, or don't mind. And the ones who don't matter don't mind at all. So, fuck it. I challenge everybody this month, Mental Health Awareness Month, to contribute to someone's mental illness by going harder, becoming more sexy, becoming more successful, becoming more complete, becoming more complex, creating and fueling more haters, and crippling more haters than you ever done in your life. Right now, during Mental Health Awareness. Contribute to someone's mental illness by going harder than you ever done in your life. Alright. Today's word of the day, always, most of the time, it's coming to us through Miriam, and the word of the day was?
Sagacious.
Sagacious. Means having or showing an ability to understand difficult ideas and situations and to make good decisions. It implies being wise or discerning. Alright. First topic of the day. We started talking about young lady Arlena. Talk about the article now. I don't know if I clicked out of it or whatever the case is. Looks like I did click out. I did. Alright, Miss Arlena, went to Southern University, age 19. It didn't say if she committed suicide or not, but we can ultimately assume that she did. And if she did not commit suicide, then we're gonna go along down because we threw the rope down the hole and we crawled down. So what we came across is that there are other young people, teenagers, late teens, early 20s, who are budding athletes, budding personalities in society, who have immense amount of talent, but also an immense amount of pressure surrounding them. And with that being said, that contributes to the depression and the anxiety that these people deal with on an everyday basis. Now, they have conditioned themselves to not show it, to have a veil or a mask over top of it, so it cannot be identified. So it's easier for them to live through this life and function. not being able to talk about it, not being able to get it off of their chest, not being able to properly cope with it, that contributes to their demise. So just know that there is help out there. If you are someone who constantly lives and worries about the future, something that you can't control. You can only control the things that you do today, and that'll predict or at least build towards the future. And things that have already happened have already happened. So just know that as long as you have no oxygen in your lungs, then you can contribute to the participation of your rescue and do something to make it better. But you can't go back in history. You can't go back in time and change nothing. Unless you got a time machine that we don't know about. Well, if you got it, then you need to hand it over. Alright, so next topic that we talked about the Taliban. So Taliban's they're not letting up on what's going on with the women over there. Matter of fact, they're stepping up the anteing up. And they said women, not only do you have to be 99% covered up, but now we're just gonna knock it up to that full 100. So you can't show anything out in public, no face, no ass, nothing. And if you just so happen to show a stitch of skin out in public, then your fathers, your brothers, your husbands, your sons, your uncles, your granddaddies, something may happen to them, whether it be imprisonment, whether it be unemployment, but something will happen to them. Then after that, then we roll right into 5 children die and 100 others sick and died with mysterious hepatitis outbreak in the U.S. There were a good 30 other states in the U.S. that had something going on, man. This article is really vague. They're just talking about liver diseases and the symptoms and things like that. But whenever I see articles like this that talk about a large group of people all contracting the same thing, that always brings concern to me. So I always try to dig into that. And last, certainly not least, Google firing another AI researcher who reportedly challenged findings. So there's always going to be something at Google. So what do you expect? But ladies and gentlemen, this is Don, the Senator of Smooth and Rude, coming to you live from the 7-5 Rock, because we global, baby, yeah. And I did have to pause the show just to give me a little thing, some moonshine. It's great. Absolutely great. This is Imaginary Style Podcast where we build the land while we drive it. We strive to become envious, which is unconquerable and influential in every single aspect of our lives. Our goal here is to, at the mansion, is to learn lessons from local and global events and apply it to our lives and see how we can better become what we need to become out here. And we're also staying in the mix about technology and health and a cold calculator will ever so change the world. So, envious ones, welcome, or fuck it, welcome to the home of the anti-hero. Thank you for watching. Signal out.